Okay, quick question for you. What's the fastest growing sport in the world right now? Seriously, take a guess. It's probably not what you're thinking. It's a game you're suddenly seeing everywhere, from local parks to celebrity social media feeds. We're talking about Puddle, and today we're going to break down its explosive rise from a quirky backyard invention to a legitimate global phenomenon. So, just how big is this thing? Let's start with a number. The International Padel Federation estimates there are now over 30 million people playing the sport. To put that into perspective for you, that is more than the entire population of Australia. And what's crazy is that just a few years ago, that number was sitting at under 8 million. It's a truly staggering surge in players. And to handle all those new players, the infrastructure is in a flat-out boom. There are now more than 70,000 Padel courts around the world. I mean, just think about that for a second. Before 2018, there were only about 21,000. We're talking about a tripling of available courts in just a handful of years. It really feels like a new Padel club is popping up on every corner. Now, while Europe, especially Spain, is still the absolute heartland of Padel, with 60% of the players, this is no longer just a European thing, not at all. South America, where it first caught fire competitively, holds a really strong 23%. But the real story here is the explosive growth everywhere else in North America, Asia, and Africa. Padel isn't just a regional pastime anymore, it's a full-blown global movement. These numbers are incredible, right? But they don't tell the whole story. How did a sport that most of us are only just hearing about become such a powerhouse? Well, to really understand its future, we need to wind the clock all the way back to the very beginning, to a single backyard in Acapulco. Yeah, this story doesn't start in some fancy boardroom or a high-tech sports lab. Nope, it begins with a simple problem, in a single backyard, way back in 1969. So the inventor was a Mexican businessman named Enrique Corcuera. He had a classic problem. He wanted a tennis court at his home, but he just didn't have enough space. So he got creative. He built a smaller 20 by 10 meter court and, in what turned out to be a stroke of genius, enclosed it with walls to keep the ball from flying into his neighbor's yard. And just like that, a happy accident became a brand new sport. So what exactly is Padel? Well, think of it as the perfect mashup of tennis and squash. It's pretty much always played in doubles. The scoring is identical to tennis, but the crucial difference is you can play the ball off the surrounding glass or concrete walls. This creates these incredible long rallies and a whole new layer of strategy. It's amazing. The smaller court means less running and more action. The rackets are solid, stringless paddles, which makes it way easier to control the ball. But the real secret to its magic? The serve. It's always underhand, hit at or below your waist level. This is a complete game changer. It gets rid of the intimidating, high-powered serves you see in tennis, making Padel incredibly accessible and honestly just outrageously fun from the very first time you pick up a paddle. So Corcuera had created something really special, a game that was instantly addictive. But how did it escape his backyard in Acapulco and begin its journey to global domination? Well, the answer lies with a few of his very influential friends. The spark was lit in 1969. 5 years later, a Spanish friend, Prince Alfonso de Hohenlohe, fell in love with the game and built the first 2 courts in Spain at his exclusive Marbella club. A year after that, another friend, Julio Menegaihi, took it to Argentina, where it just absolutely exploded. By 1991, the sport had grown so much that the International Padel Federation was formed, giving it the formal structure it needed to really go global. So, with an international federation in place and a growing base of players, the path was finally cleared for Padel to transform from just a social hobby into a serious professional sport. The crucial breakthrough for professional Padel wasn't a new racket or a change in the rules. It was a brilliant technological innovation. In 1989, an Argentina coach named Jorge Gagliardi designed the first transparent glass court, which they nicknamed the Crystal Palace. All of a sudden, spectators and television cameras could see every angle, every shot, every incredible rally. Padel was no longer just a game to be played, it was now a sport to be watched. This new spectator-friendly format fueled the rise of professional circuits, starting with the Padel Pro Tour in 2005. That then evolved into the more globally ambitious World Padel Tour. And now, as of 2024, the sport has finally consolidated under a single, unified global tour called Premier Padel. This is a huge deal. It means all the top players are competing in the same tournaments, creating a more compelling product for fans and a much more attractive proposition for sponsors. Which brings us right back to today, and to a future that looks incredibly bright. The combined momentum from its grassroots popularity and its new professional unification, well, it's creating a powerful weave of growth that's just hard to ignore. The growth in court construction is just astonishing. I mean, from 21,000 courts in 2018 to over 70,000 today, with projections suggesting we'll blow past 81,000 globally by 2027. We're not just seeing growth here, we're witnessing an explosion. The demand for Padel is relentless, and the world is scrambling to build courts fast enough to keep up. And here's something I was really surprised to learn. According to a recent report from Playtomic, the fastest-growing markets aren't even the traditional strongholds like Spain and Argentina. We're seeing explosive interest in places like Denmark, Portugal, the Netherlands, and Belgium. This is such a clear sign that Padel isn't some regional fad. It's a sport with true global appeal that is still finding new, passionate audiences every single day. So what does the next chapter look like? Well, it's going to be defined by expansion into massive new markets like the US and the UK. We'll see it push further into Asia and the Middle East, which are becoming premium destinations for the sport. And as the Pro Tour grows, you can expect bigger media deals, major mainstream sponsorships, and a whole new level of professionalism. All of it powered by tech that makes it easier than ever to get on a court and play. From a backyard improvisation to a global movement in just over 50 years, Padel has a unified professional tour, tens of millions of passionate players, and a growth rate that other sports can only dream of. So the question is no longer if Padel will become a global force in sports. The real question is, how big can it possibly get? And with the Olympic Games always on the horizon, the sky truly is the limit.